Good afternoon, everyone. Nathan from All Properties Group. I'm actually down here at the Oxford Lake at the moment. I thought I'd jump on and have a quick chat about something that we talk about a lot or get asked about a lot, and that is marketing fees. I've actually been kicked out of my house for the day. My new flooring is going down, and I've got the flood and been told I can't walk on it until tonight. So I've got a few minutes spare between meetings, and I thought I'd jump on. Excuse the wobbliness. Actually forgot my tripod too, so I am holding this while sitting on a wall down at the lake. But I wanted to discuss something, and that is marketing. Right now, this can be very controversial because every seller, every real estate agent around Australia and especially locally will have different opinions on this. Right, so I'm going to cover off the real costs, what they actually cost, what you should be getting charged, or approximately what you should be getting charged anyway, and what it means and why you should be paying for it yourself and why the agents should not be doing it for free. Now, this could be controversial. You may disagree, and if you do, jump on the comments. Let's have a chat about it. More than happy to. And we can cover off both sides of this. So let's talk about the real cost. Now, obviously, the major cost, and most people don't actually know this, but realestate.com, to do things right anyway, using what's called a premier ad, which is the top ad, the big ones you might see when you're scrolling down realestate.com. Depending on the suburb, there's big gust of winds. Hopefully that's not too bad for you guys watching. But the realestate.com for the top ad, depending on the suburb, costs anywhere from sort of 1,500, even up to about 2,300. Again, depending on the suburb, the price point, how many sales there are, how much competition realestate.com believes in listings there are. The more competition, the more money you've actually got to pay. So keep that in mind. For example, in Pimpama, it's over $1,800 for the Premier Plus advert. And that's something that people don't actually realize when they're listing. If you're not getting charged that by your real estate agent, these are the questions you should be asking. Is one, what advert are they providing you? Why is it free? And if they are doing it free, are you getting the small basic ad which doesn't refresh back to the top, which gets 2.8 times less views online and things like that? Now we've got Domain, of course. If you're advertising on realestate.com, no matter what people say, you should always be on Domain as well. In Queensland, realestate.com is the prominent search for locals. But what we find, obviously, right now is there's still a lot of interstate interest. In fact, I found anyway that we had a break from interstate. They disappeared for a little while, but they've come back from 46 Rate Street on the weekend, which we sold prior to auction. It was about 20 inquiries of the 46 we had were from interstate investors. Surprising considering the changes that have come in for land tax, but that's off topic. And so that's something to consider. Domain is actually one of the top used sites for searching in Sydney and in Melbourne. So if you're not on that as a Queenslander, you're probably missing a potential interstate buyer. So you need to be on there as well. And again, every suburb is different, but the Gold Coast is more expensive. But you're looking between 600, right up to 1,000, depending on the location you're at on the Gold Coast. So that brings you up to nearly $3,000 between realestate.com and Domain. Now, photography is obviously a must do. If your agent is taking photos on their phone, probably should be free for a start, but it does not require does not get the attention of a buyer looking online instantly to get them emotional before they inquire. So you need to invest in good photography. Again, every photographer is different depending on the level of skill in both editing, in the angles they use, in the quality of equipment that they use. But for a photography package, with or without drones, you're looking anywhere from $600 for the lower ends, I guess, all the way up to $1,000 for your good packages, right? And that gives you the magazine quality stuff, the good editing, the professional look online, that the same as a luxury property would get in any price point. So that brings us up to similar, just over $3,500 for those three items. Then you're going to look at, and we have this question a lot, can you overmarket a property? And in my opinion, no, you can't, but you can undermarket a property. And what do I mean by that? And I've got a few examples of this, but if you were to be selling in any market, 300,000, 400,000, 800,000, 2 million, 8 million, whatever it is, and you invested in a good marketing campaign, you're going to find more buyers. They're going to be seeing your home, are going to be inquiring on your home, looking at the home. And usually when there's more buyers, especially inside an open home, there's more offers and they pay more money. 46 Rate Street, again, a perfect example of this. Properties were on the market, listed at the same time, had half the amount of views online. I guarantee you they didn't have 46 inquiries in 6 days. An extra 40,000 people reached just on social media. And we sold with 4 offers on the day on Saturday with an unconditional sale. 6 days on the market, 1 open home. 13 inspections, right? You, if you undermarket a home, are potentially costing yourself money. We'll never really know what does better, but the way that I look at it is, would you rather risk undermarketing the home and underselling, or risk paying $1,000 or $2,000 more, but selling for potentially 20,000 to 50,000 more? I know what I do. I think 2,000 to make 50,000 is a bloody good investment, in my opinion. And I can show you multiple examples if you want to have a chat about it, of how that has genuinely worked. And those stats are real, those figures are real. And we can have a chat about that and talk about it. But that is just without paying for social media. Now, many agents will pay for the social media advert, and I think that is fair. But investing yourself $200 to $300 in social media can help you reach a lot of people. We've got to remember that, yes, some buyers are looking on realestate.com and Domain, but they may not be looking in your suburb. So Pimpama, for example, or even Jacobs Well or Calypso Bay, if you know that area. Excuse that I'm really trying to hold this camera and it's not working very well. I should have my tripod. But many buyers in that area didn't actually know about the value of Gainsborough Greens or of Calypso Bay, because they were looking at places like Coomera, places like Helensvale, places like Oxenford, for example, and they're seeing this property show up on Facebook that's $800,000 when they've been looking at that price range for older homes in other areas and seeing fantastic value. That's where the social media comes in. If you're thinking social media is just putting a post up, then you're really not talking to the right people about how it's going to work and how it does genuinely benefit sellers in this new market. Remember, it's 2022. Social media is a part of our life, and it's the best part for a business owner and for property owners to do the best thing in selling for the best money. So that's the most of it. Then you got things like drone photos. Then you got things like virtual tours. You've got all these options that really should all be utilized. And the best one yet is staging. An example of how staging is worked: Kalgoorlie Street recently, number 24 Kalgoorlie Street, 4-bedroom home, 320 square meter block with a single garage. We sold it in 6 days for 651,000. At the same time, a property on the same street, completely vacant, on a bigger block with a double garage, sold for only $9,000 more. Now you might be thinking, why is there a difference? But there's more than $9,000 difference between a 320 square meter block to a 480 square meter block, and from a single garage to a double garage, but the same size build. There's a big difference between them. But with staging, we managed to make up the gap quite substantially. So $2,500 invested, $6,000 invested in staging, whatever it is, you're going to make that back usually by multiples. That's it. So hopefully that sort of covers some of the marketing costs. If your agent is not charging marketing, the things you need to wonder are, why would they put up $4,000 to $5,000 of their money, which is the cost price now of marketing, really, for an asset that they don't decide if it sells? Now, I'll just think about that then. The person that decides if a property sells is the owner. We could bring 10 $1 million offers to a property that market value is $800,000 to. The owner could still say no, but we've spent $4,000 to $5,000 marketing it. And if the owner decides to take it off the market, the person that's out of pocket is the real estate agent. It doesn't make sense. So why would they invest it? So the reason why is that they're not investing it. They're using the lower end products. They're using iPhone photography or cheaper photography. They're not using social media correctly. They're not putting you in front of multiple buyers to get multiple offers. And they're usually not getting you the most money, which, despite the fact that their fees are cheaper, it's actually more expensive in the long run. But if you don't believe me, let's have a chat about it. Let me show you some stats. If you have a difference of opinion about marketing, put in the comments below. More than happy to have an open discussion about this sort of stuff. But I'm going to jump off. It's hot sitting here right now. I'm going to go make some phone calls. Have a great afternoon. Talk soon.